do want to let you guys know about how I cried to Bree for the first time.
Bitch ass. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so
Go ahead, baby.
So as I've stated previously on the pod about Mario, right, for the past year, and how I had that wall up, I think people kind of seen because how I talked to him and how I described to everybody about him in this situation.
Do you want to tell them who Mario is?
Well, if you guys need a reminder, Mario is my brother. He had some issues he was going through, but he has now recovered. And we are, so that kind of just leads me to my next point, actually. So over the past year and a half, me and Mario, throughout my whole life, me and Mario never really had like a super brotherly relationship that I felt like we could or should have had. And I actually had a lot of resentment for him because I felt like he always chose his friends over me. I think I said this before. And I kind of took the relationship as it is what it is. So whenever he came around, tried to big bro me. When he don't come around, that would affect me. And when he I don't know, it's just stuff like that.
Did you want validation from your big brother? Like, you know how you want, like, as boys, we want our dad's validation. Like, did you want your big brother to be like?
You mean validation as in like love?
Like, yeah, like just that approval, like that big bro approval, like.
Not approval. I just wanted his love.
Oh,
I just wanted him like to text me as a big brother, talk to me if I was down. Like, I know it was one day where when we moved to Atlanta, I was just having a bit of trouble adjusting to it because I was such a homebody, and I feel like I'm not angry at him, but at the time I just felt like I was 13, 14. He was 19. I feel like he could have sat me down and say, look. We could have had a conversation about it just to put me at ease or help me transition to the new town or whatever. So when it comes to stuff like that and the last year and a half with his issues and everything, it just grew even more.
Resentment?
Yeah, it grew even more. And I'm like, see, this is why I already don't have the best relationship with you. And like now, like I try to talk to him and tell him like, look, Mario, what you want? I'm gonna be doing this and you are doing this, you need to change this. I know it's not gonna be easy, and he would still be lying and blah 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 blah. So I told Bree the other day, we were chilling, and this was actually like we have like conversations all the time about each other, like so we know each other really, really well. But this is just one conversation, or this is just one day where everything just felt so fluid, but yet deep. And it was really good. So like the energies were high in the room, we were laughing. I was on the floor talking to her. Like I've never done nothing like that. Like either we're like in the chair together or just like eye level. So it was almost like metaphorical how I was on the floor, she was on the bed, and I like was looking up to her. Felt like I was just putting my trust into her. But anyway, so I was telling how me and Mario now are at a good place. We are at a really good place. So he don't text me every day, but it's like he texts me throughout the week. We talk. I talk to him.
That's good.
And I was telling him like the other day I saw him and like I was dapping him up. Like I know that may be like nothing to y'all, but like for me to dap him up, like he's just like my bro.
Like the hug that. Like
it was something new that we never really had. It was just like, oh, what's up? Not really awkward, but kinda. But this one just felt like, oh, what's up, bro? It felt genuine.
Yeah.
So that made me happy. I didn't express that to him. I mean, I actually told him that I cried to Bree about him after though. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, I cataloged it in my head. Like, wow, that was really good. Like, me and him just did that.
That was like a breaking barriers.
It was breaking barriers. So I told Bree that, and I was like, it's good that we're talking now, and when we see each other and sit down, we're catching up with each other and stuff. And that's when it just happened. Like,
you let it out.
Emotions was high.
I didn't think I had.
Was it like tears of sadness or like tears of joy? Like
it was tears of happiness. It was very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because I've told people how I was kinda, I hate to say this now, how I was disappointed in Mario. I told Lexton and I told, stuff like that.
We had some conversations at the park.
Yeah, like I was disappointed, and for me, I had to kind of put a wall up and say, look, he's gonna do that until he realizes he needs help. Let me just kind of like step away. I'll be there for him as much as I can, but as far as like giving money or feeding into his habit, I won't do that anymore.
Let me ask you. So, was you putting that wall up? Was that more so a defense mechanism to allow you from being
definitely
hurt? Like,
I've expressed it.
Okay.
I told my dad. I said I don't want to let my guard down, and he shows good, and he's like good for a couple days or a couple weeks, and then he goes right back into it, and then I feel disappointed, and then I feel sad and hurt in the end.
Sometimes you feel like kind of let down.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I said, I've known Mario longer than I've known you. And it's crazy.
Dang.
It's crazy that I say that. And it's like, like I definitely see what you're talking about as far as like just feeling like kind of disappointed and kind of let down. Because like I said, I've seen I've known Mario. I've seen him go through his weight, everything. Seen everything.
Right.
And like I saw him build a relationship my god sister, and then that kind of fell apart, but they're rebuilding.
This is what I'm saying.
And it's just like, I don't know, like when I saw him, when you sent that picture, he just looked healthy as hell.
Right.
That almost brought tears in my eyes, because I was just like, bro, like I have never seen him this healthy in so long.
So
it was just amazing, bro.
Exactly. So with that, I told Bree about how me and Mario have gotten better.
Yeah.
And I also told her that me and him talked about how I was close to losing him last year, and I was mentally preparing for any text or any call saying that something happened to him. So,
why were you preparing yourself for that? Why do you think you were preparing yourself?
Because of his lifestyle.
It was okay, bro.
It was very tumultuous.
Do you think you were like ready to get that call? Like
I was super.
And it
ready.
was dark too. It was like a dark time, bro.
I was super ready. Like there was literally days where Mama was texting me. I was getting ready to see a text saying your brother's in the hospital for blah blah blah, and maybe even worse. So I told Bree, I said with that last year, I still feel bad that I felt that way. It was a lot going on.
I'll say, sorry to cut you off. I feel like as men, we go numb really quick. Like it's only you have a couple of times to like when you love somebody a lot, and as men, when we're disappointed by somebody that we love, we go numb to it, and what we do is put up that wall. And I always say like, you can only upset. It's fucked up, but I always say like, you have 2 times upset me, and after that, I won't allow my expectations to exceed your character. So it's like that's how we that's how we allow ourselves to be disappointed when we have these high expectations, but people's actions don't match up with those expectations.
Right.
So you want to be hopeful and have these.
I wanted to.
Yeah, but it's like you can't allow yourself because that hurts. That will end up hurting you even more. Right. You know, that's a defense mechanism.
And it's like, it nullifies because like us men were built with pride.
A lot of ego.
Like none of that. You don't like with me, for example. I have a lot of pride. I don't show my emotions. I don't think I've ever really felt vulnerable to really express my emotions like that.
I mean, this is vulnerability though, man. I appreciate you for being vulnerable.
Yeah, like I'm just like I can't explain my emotions. Like it's crazy, like because I know you when you said like you cried to Bree or whatever, anybody in general. Like I don't think.
But that's the funny
I can
part.
do that yet.
I've never
or like feel that emotion to do that. Like I even to like even get to that point, I'm just like.
I've never been like completely distant from my emotions because I allow my emotions to dictate. I went from allowing my emotions to dictate how I felt and said and moved to, okay, as I matured, I was like, okay, you need to feel this. You need to understand why you're feeling this. And so now when you know moving forward, just to deal with certain situations so you won't have to feel this again, or when you do, you know how to deal with it. So when it came to this, I already had this wall up.
Yeah.
And I told Bree, I was like, I feel like God has blessed me with another opportunity to have a relationship with my brother.
That's beautiful.
So
that's like a second chance.
As soon as I started to say that, I just broke down. Like, and she came over and hugged me, and I was like, I don't know what happened. Like, I didn't even think I would get emotional about that. But I think it was just me saying it out loud.
Yeah.
That kind of really got to me. And the thing is, like, I told my dad the next day and cried again. So it's like, it's so weird because I loved my brother even when he was going through that, and I still love him, always. But it's just like I never knew. All right, so no.
Let it out, bro.
So, like I said, when I was thinking about not being surprised if I got a text message about anything bad happening to him, I felt like I was prepared.
Yeah.
Me and Justice talked about this the other day about how, and I told him how when it comes to dealing with death, I do want to be more prepared to, even though I never will be. I want to be prepared as far as like, this is very weird. I just want to be, I just want to be prepared as far as like, okay, they did live their life. Whatever happened. I need to mourn, I need to grieve, and then I need to move forward and kind of, but still honor them and remember them for their best person the best person that they were in my eyes and to everybody else, right? Yeah. But now that me and Mario's relationship has gotten better, that made me realize how much BS that kind of is, because me talking about how me and him got a better relationship, I may have cried because of how beautiful it was. It went from dark to like great now. Mm-hmm. And maybe tied in with that was the fear of losing him. Yeah. And how last year losing him was just like, okay, it might come, just be prepared. To when I cried the other night, I was like, wow, if something did happen, I don't think I still would have been prepared.
Yeah. We can never fully prepare for death. We can tell ourselves, I'm ready. We've all dealt with people that have dealt with things, addiction. So it's like we tell ourselves, okay, it's only a matter of time. But until you get that phone call, you never truly know what it's like to go through that with that person. It's hard to prepare for death. It's like, because we've never been through it, Right. Like I said the other day, it's like, as humans, we're selfish. We want people here. People can be suffering, they could be sick, but when they die, we want them here. You know what I mean? A person could be on their deathbed in pain. And it's not, we're praying that they have a peaceful transition into the afterlife. It's just, make it through, give them light, let them stay another day, So I definitely, emotions are fragile, we're human at the end of the day. It's hard to prepare for death. Like the thought of living with somebody, like the thought of like living the rest of your life without somebody there, that's tough.
That's
like,
hard to think about.
You can't prepare for that because if your brother's 27? 29. So basically, you have to pretty much like, that's 29 years of just living together. So you can't undo 29 years. That takes a long ass time. And then even in 29 more years, you're like, fuck, it's been 29 years and I'm still going through. Like it's hard. You never fully get. I mean, not everybody spit, but you can't get over getting over death. Like that's like almost impossible because you can't replace life.
Right.
In the physical, their soul will live on, but you're still gonna be grieving because like holidays, birthdays, it's always gonna be a reminder. Like I remember when this person used to call me and do this. It's like, damn, and it's up and down. There's no right or wrong way to like cope with death. Right. It's just some days you're gonna be happy, some days you're gonna be like, man, fuck this, man. I can call my bro, and you can't do that.
Right.
That's why I think it's so hard to prepare for death from an emotional and mental and spiritual standpoint.
Right.
You can financially prepare for it, but in all other aspects, you really can't.
Right. Joel, do you mind if I ask you how kind of like what Justice just said, that's something that you can never really understand, I guess, until you go through it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You want to get on?
Yeah, sure.
Joel on the beat.
Today's actually like the anniversary of my father's his death day.
I got you.
So and it's like Justice was saying, you can only prepare for it but so much, because like my dad, he had he had sleep apnea, so it was an ongoing condition. It wasn't something like, he's sick this one time. Like he would constantly be in the hospital, and it's like after a while it would be, or like, he's in the hospital again, like, okay, whatever, I guess we'll just prepare. But it's like one day the day that we went, I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of frazzled, the day that I went to Atlanta, he had ended up getting sick, and he was in the hospital, and I was with my aunt, his sister, and we was like, we're not going, like, it's whatever, like, I'm sure he'll be fine, or whatever happens supposed to happen. But then, like, the whole night we were downtown at the hospital he was at, and I just kept looking, and I was like, am I gonna be ready, like, for bad news, or like what?
Right.
Or you know, it was between thinking about that, or it's like, oh, it'll be fine, you know, I'm sure it'll be fine, just like all the other times. And then when we got that call, I was like, wow, I was not ready for this. Like, is this real? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree that it's not something you can prepare for, because like, even though we knew he was sick and the things that he was going through, it don't matter. Oh, you got the life insurance policy, whatever, like that. You know, you can financially prepare and stuff like that, but you can't prepare for the emotional trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really does take a toll on you, and it's not like some shit you could just train for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could train for physical stuff, but I feel like when it comes to mental, like, that just makes you a whole new person. Like, I feel like I'm a totally different person from this day last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I would say in a way I appreciate death though, because it really teaches you a lot, and it really kind of humbles you. Because I had always been the type of person, kind of not necessarily cocky, but I just never imagined myself to be the type of person where like, oh, these things could happen to me. Right. Like, you know, I'm protected, whatever, I'm very spiritual. I'm like, oh, nothing like that would ever happen to me. And it's like, damn, that should happen to my dad. Like, that could happen to me. So I do feel like it's very important that we do, you know, take time to really try, I guess, as humans, to understand death instead of just pretending like we can prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not that simple. Like, and it's just so weird, because it's like, it's something that we'll never truly know about, you know, no matter how many books you read, how much prayer, you literally, you're never gonna know. It's like, you can get an idea, but you're not gonna know.
Right.
That's how I feel about it.
Well, he said today is the day?
Yes.
And how long has it been since? If you don't
A
mind me
year?
asking?
Yeah, it's been a year.
I do want to give my condolences.
Yes,
Same.
And I don't know how the journey has been. I don't know how it has been for you.
Yeah.
But I will say, just from an outsider's perspective, you seem to be very strong.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But I know that you deal with it on your own time.
Yeah,
in your own way.
And sometimes it'll even get weird, because I'm like, am I grieving that way? Like, you know, when it first happened, I would just be sad all the time, whatever. And it's now, not that I don't get sad, but it's like, it'll be more gaps in between it. And I'm like, am I supposed to be sad right now? Like, am I doing this right? Am I too detached? You know what I'm saying? So it's really something that you just have to constantly revisit. And I really had to, like, teach myself, like, unfortunately, this is the rest of my life. This is what the rest of my life's gonna be like. Like, I have to learn to live the rest of my life without my dad. And it's like, towards the beginning, like, I had to remind myself, like, my dad died. I'll be doing something random. I'm washing the fucking dishes. My dad died. Oh shit.
And it's like, you never know when it's gonna hit you too. Like,
exactly.
like you said, like, you're not gonna know, like I know in the moment you probably was like, damn, like, did this really just happen? Like, you didn't know how to feel. But like, I don't know, it'll hit you, like you said. You could be washing dishes, you could be vacuuming, you could be doing anything, pumping gas, and then it just like kind of just hit you, like, dang, like, you know, like, I lost my dad, like, damn, like, you know, I wanted to talk to him today, or whatever, or like, I lost my brother, anything. It just hit you, and it's just like, wow, like, I really gotta live, like, the rest of my life knowing that, you know, I can't speak to this person anymore.
Exactly.
But in hindsight, like, I know it kind of built character, it built you, and this, I know that situation, like, it's a terrible situation. I, like, you know, like I said, I give my condolences out to you. I know it definitely made you into a new person, and even it made you into a better person.
Oh yeah,
over
for
time,
sure,
like,
yeah.
it built you up. So, you know, I'm glad that you're coping well with this.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you continue to cope well with this.
Thank you. It's definitely a journey. And I wouldn't necessarily say like it gets better, but it gets a little bit more easy to understand in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of have to attach your own understanding to it. You know what I'm saying? Like death to me might not mean death to you. So that's a big way that I cope with it. Like I said, I just have to make it make sense to me. Because at the end of the day, like, who's to tell you, you know, what's right and what's wrong when it comes to grieving and, you know, missing somebody that you love. So honestly, I just be winging it. But I really do appreciate, you know, having people like in my corner, like especially Justice. Like I've never, not that I haven't lost people before, but like your fucking parent, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something different. So it's been really, I guess, fulfilling to have somebody you can just, you know, talk to about it, cry about it when you need to, you know what I'm saying? Or just sit there and say nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs different treatment with it. But yeah, it's definitely, it's wild. Like I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but at the same time, like you were saying, like it did mold me into a better person, you know what I'm saying? So it's very dual. It's a very dual
and it's like,
phenomenon.
I don't know, like with death, like you said with death, like people, not too many people go through it, whereas like my family, like, you know, I've been to a lot of funerals, but it's just like I've been to more funerals than I've been to like weddings. I've only been to like 1 or 2 weddings.
Yeah, same.
And I've been to like a million funerals. Like I just know the vibe, but it was like maybe two of them that I've been to that I actually that was like, you know, crying, like my emotions were coming out. But like I don't know, I'm just so like numb to it. It's hard. It just depends on the situation, and it's like really hard for me to kind of get my emotions off. Like, you know, like, oh wow, like, you know, this happened. Like I need to, you know, cope with this or whatever. But it's just like I don't know. I feel like it's something that I've gotten used to, but it's just like I've never really had somebody too close to me pass away, so I don't know that feeling, and I know that feeling's probably totally different.
Yeah, and it's like, and not to compare, you know what I'm saying? Like death is death, but it definitely does hit you harder when it's like a parent or God forbid a sibling or something like that. Yeah. But at the same time, like you was talking about emotions, I feel like it definitely helped me get more in tune with my emotions. You know, like being that me and my dad we were like mad tight, and my family. I just come from a really family oriented, you know, family. But my dad dying, it taught me about like my own traumas that I've been holding on to since a kid, and I was like, wow, like, you know, what if he didn't die on this day? Would I have learned these things about myself? You know, would I have, you know, evolved into the type of person that I am now? So it's like, it's so weird, but I mean, you know, everything happens for a reason. And I do appreciate like the growth that it's led into my life. And like Justice was saying about being selfish, like, yeah, I was feeling like that at first, but it's like as you grow into your own understanding, you know, you kind of make your own explanations up for things, stuff like that. So I learned, it also taught me to be, you know, a little less selfish. Like if these people are suffering, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? I've exhausted all my efforts. Like, you know, gotta give it to whoever, you know, whatever you believe in. You just gotta, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. But it's a very eye-opening experience. I would say that.
Gotcha.
Very much so.
I do appreciate you coming up here and giving your perspective.
Yes, I was just gonna say I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
was very.
And I didn't even know, man. Like I'm just so happy to see that you're still smiling today.
Yeah.
Right.
You're still happy. You came in happy. Like I love to see that.
Thank you, thank you. And I honestly had no idea what today was gonna be like. Like my mom, she's like, "Are you gonna be okay?" Like, girl, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But you know, I've been like with his family because my family lives in Atlanta, so I don't get to see them like that. But I've been with his family. You know what I'm saying? So just having a nice support group, it's really, you know, helped me. Power
I know
through
Justice
it,
the GOAT, man.
Oh, for sure.
The GOAT, man.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
but yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you came up and, you know, you were able to speak on this. And, you know, to anybody else that's going through any trauma, any death in your family, you know, I hope you cope well with it. I hope in the future everything goes good for you. Now keep you in my prayers.
And find somebody to talk to about it.
Yes,
like,
please. Don't keep it in.
It don't even have to be a therapist, but you know, somebody who'll just listen and not even say anything sometimes. You don't even need advice all the time. You know, just somebody to get off your chest to, write in a journal, you know, pray, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
But it's not like you're not necessarily going to get over it, but like I said, you learn to understand it better and you learn how to cope more healthily. So I do wish healing for anybody else that has been through anything similar to that.
Yes. Happy healings here from Now We're Podding.
Yes.
Hey, now we podding. You already know.
Thank y'all for letting me speak.
Yes, well, thank you.
To anybody out there that's dealing with like loss, grief, cope, like just death, period, like just dealing with death and loss of a family member, there is no right or wrong way to cope. It's highs, there's lows. There's no blueprint, there's no formula. You don't get an outline for this shit. You literally just like, there's good days, there's bad days. Let those emotions flow. Appreciate the good feelings, appreciate the happy days. But yeah, there's no right or wrong way to do it. So there's no blueprint for it. So it comes in different forms, and everybody's situation is different. And as they said, just wishing healing on everybody that's dealing with any type of loss or death in their family, and prayers for y'all and wishing y'all the best. Yeah. Folks, NWP is signing off here. We thank you for tuning in. We have the best news and the best topics. Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the motherfucking hits.
Justice.
Sean. Lexton.